You push tongue in a hole.
Dad, I just have one question for you. Why are you gay?
I am not gay. I am a straight man.
Are you Mr. or...
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
Why is it that...
You push tongue in a hole. Fire for that. Stop right there. Why you stirring the sun with your pinky? You're moving fish it. Lava splash. Stop right there. What a way you love peel man banana. Lava splash. You're getting too comfortable with them shape there. Freeze. I know you want really should be in your mouth. You dirty bungle, you. Take it out. You can't run, but you can't hide. Shit.
Yeah, I said suck your mom.
Suck your mother and die.
When there's tribal sound, and in the air with a tribal sound, terminal, tribal sound, Big Man Spidey, the tribal. When there's tribal, jeez.
You see me, I ain't watching you, watching her.
When there's Africa, got to take them to Africa. When there's Africa, got to take them on a trip, on a journey. Whoa. When there's Africa,
Don't mix
got
it.
to take them to Africa.
Don't mix
It's like,
Hey, Spidey, don't mix it. Hold on. I'm like,
and again.
hold on. Hey, stepper, that's that one way. That's your way.
I am a money maker, and to the edge of a money maker. For one time, you're a money maker. If you're on this train, money maker. And to the air, money maker. For one time, money maker. On this thing, money maker. You see us terminal.
You see me. I ain't watching you, I ain't watching him. I got to dance and bubble and sing. Terminal forward and terminal quick. Terminal forward and power those.
When you come to my house, just respect my house. Don't touch my house. Don't put me out of the house. When you come to my house, just respect my house. Blood clot talk to them.
What's wrong with it? Hold on. I'm like, no. I'm like, yeah. Play sleep, hold on. Play wiggy, hold on. I'm like, no. I'm like, yeah. Can I please have your attention? I said, this is the captain's weekend, and I'm in the terminal 4. Can I please have your attention? Early.
Weed him along, jump on the track like I'm nobody's son. Make a MC call out my name for the promo. I ain't got to talk off already, one say nothing. I will just rise up something. Man, I run a Gaza, but we'll get gully. Pop it off, you will get peppered and curried. When man say beef, I'm ready to cook something. That's right, pass me my knife and fork. Eat MCs like I ain't been fed. Copper and lead from the Eagle and Hawk. I don't know what man thought, but it's cool, cause if man never knew that it's crunch time now. 4 or 5, you made up like lunchtime now. Here's the essence, if man want test it, I'll slap one ton of man upside down. So much corn in your head like ow. Tear off piece of your face like wow. Where I'm from, we don't chat to police. Them man are probably chatting to the feds right now. Carbine for an informer. Come to your ends and corner pick corner. I'm about 6'1", but you see my machine makes me look a little piece taller. Weed in my lung. Jump on the track like I'm nobody's son.
Oh my God. But the but. Look. If it's me or mother, you get started just like Saga. Keep fighting, that's what I'm bad at. My thing's working perfect. Come through with a beat up on ya. If I'm the hundreds like 90 under. With a mic and a right to rhythm, cause I spit the fire just like houses. I'm a lyrical invader. I'm into the top just like Vader. You give me nobody can save ya. On the mic, man, I way too major. Shocking them teeth like Blanca. I got money in the bank, I'm a banker. You got money in the bank, you're a wanker. Look, you would have looks like bullrope. Get the rate to jumping like a bullfrog. I was using for more than a while. Getting the culture like Kyle. With the big like I go for you in the traffic. Now you don't want to get into no big man, please. I'm here. If you want a little boy, I'm that nice guy. I'm ready like a nice guy.
One from your jaw.
Jungle shape.
Move your one from your jaw.
Bigfoot.
Move your one from your jaw.
She a bad.
Move your one from your jaw.
Miss Grippy.
Move your one from your jaw.
Tight wall.
Move your one from your jaw.
Pony woo.
Move your one from your jaw.
Pony yang.
Move your one from your jaw.
Nani woo.
Move your one from your jaw.
Ming yang.
Move your one from your jaw.
Wine again.
Wind up your body, come on. Try pussy, girl, cocky call you. Baby,
it's how we want you know.
wind up your time, pussy, girl, cocky call you. I'm chilling the night banana. Wind up your time, move.
Pull it. Yeah, man. No, go on, yeah. Then the Benz like Spragger. One bag of weed and bumper clock grabber. One bag of gal like Shabba. Lord, one bag of gal like get dagger. Lord, make the gal with the hammer. Lord, make the gal better for the mama. Lord, make a rascal ball out. Chop, 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 chop. Yeah, man. So what go on? We telling me? How you mean? G block up in this biatch. Your boy Valley Vision. Yeah, it's telling me, but telling me. Come on. Alright, let me quickly read out the registers. Small names in there. I mean. So, shut up. Man like Kemo, you know. I mean. What on? I mean. Who that man here that's a brother called, the light skinned dude is called Cold Steps. The other dude's called Terminal 4. That was that something called Rave in the Sun in Zante. Boat ride. Yeah, Gaza settings. I mean. And then next up it was it was Terminal 4 and Super D. Sorry, Terminal 4 and Spidey G on number 1. Terminal 4 and Cold Steps on number 2. It was Frisco. Weed him along. Yeah, me. Number 3. Number 4. D-double-E. Ooh. But. Yeah, man. Shout out man like Lewis there. Come on. Helicopter. You mean? Shout out Liggy. Don't smoke no ciggy. When we ride that, it's T-Back and Bomber Clock Biggie. You mean? Yo, who's that? Man like Banksy, you know? Hey, you know what's funny, yeah? These men are so strange, cuz. Like, literally, the evidence goes against what they're saying, and these men are still trying to say that I am her. This is weird. Yeah, man, but don't worry, man. We quickly run that today. Still, alright. So, first claim. You know what I'm saying? Yeah? From we wake up in the morning, take a dip in out the sea, catch a little snapper. Yeah? How you mean? So I must have woke up about 4 o'clock in the morning and took a little dip in the sea. Yeah? Washing off my locks and all that. Yeah? Down by the river. All them things there. Yeah, and I heard a message saying, Feli, why are you talking about the Tommy Robinson fans pissing outside? What about the Palestinian fans? Well, there was no reports of the Palestinian fans pissing or the anti-racist supporters pissing on the streets like the Tommy Robinson ones. Like, simple. Yeah? And I said, well, there's no evidence. Yeah? Well, here's the evidence. Let it play. Once. Not even raining. You know it's not raining outside. Yeah. All that on the floor is urine. Huh? I'm so patriotic, yeah. I held my piss and went to McDonald's by Charing Cross. Yeah? So if you're from London, and you know, from I was walking over the bridge, before I even got to the protest, I was like, bro, I need to go to the toilet. So I held my shit for over an hour, maybe even 2 hours, and then went to the toilet before I jumped on the train, innit? Cause me know I'm pissed on the, you know what I'm saying? On the capital all over the, you know what I'm saying? Like drip, drip, drip. Drip, 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 drip. Wee. Yeah, man, alright, let's catch a little quick jokes. Yeah. Shout out this lady still. Yeah. 1 sec. 1 sec, let it play. Damn. Have to reshare that. Alright, let it play.
The Pokemon. Don't feel sorry for me. I get it all the time. You know, like people are like, oh, look, she's ginger. I'm different, so we will deal with the obvious. I am different. I'm Canadian. I'm also what you guys call mixed race. It's true. I'm a white girl. I'm a black girl. It's fun being me. I spend a good majority of my day watching people watch me. Especially here in the UK. Like I said, some of you fuckers are so uptight. You know, some of you still not sure if you should laugh. You're like, oh God, we might go to hell. Oh, you will. I love the tension. I do. I love when people are physically uptight. It gets me excited. Like, yeah, that's right. Look at me. And check out the tits on the 5-year-old.
Oh my God. Why for that?
I love people's reactions. I love kids' reactions, right? Some of you got kids know what I'm talking about. They're very honest, very upfront in their reaction, especially when they see somebody they haven't seen before. Some kids see me, they're like, hey, what happened to you? Did you get into an accident? I'm like, hell no, I didn't eat my vegetables when I was your age, you little shit. You know, I don't mind when kids stare. I think it's hysterical, you know. Sometimes I love when they're staring and they go by me and they lock in on me, right? And they just staring at me as they're walking and they're just staring, craning their neck, staring, and then they run into a pool. Oh, that is the best day ever. Put your phones away.
Think about so. Joke still, yeah. Let me run back to the chat real quick. Hey, boy, calm down, man. You hear me? Yeah. Half of the right wing already saying, Belly's a Muslim. Got Bamba Cloud. I'm an atheist, cuz. yeah. Salam anyway, yeah. Bad. Yeah, and that lady's from Canada still. Yeah. Mad. Alright. Alright, let's get to the main point, yeah? We ain't got the whole video to play on this one still, yeah? See if we can slap it to that.
That has caused or is likely to cause serious harm to the reputation of a prospective claimant, the person.
Oh, shoot.
But a company, then it would be serious harm in the sense.
All right, yo. So this is only for okay. This is only for people that refuse to accept facts, innit? Yeah. This is strange. This is a strange one, right? Because if the circumstances was the other way around, this would be the same thing that the people would be using to say the reasons why they believe one man's guilty, one man's not, or one man's so and so, this one's not, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, who this person won the case and why they didn't. But because it's a person that the man them support, or that their man support, that lost, the man them don't want to accept the court results. And you know what, yeah, you don't actually have to accept the court results, innit, yeah? But with that, because you now put yourself into a conspiracy theory vote. You know what I'm saying? At the worst, extremely biased. So, and you see, I don't know what black belt barrister is like with copyright strikes, with people playing his material, yeah. So, you know, what I'm gonna do, yeah, is skip right to the part that I wanted to play. What's going on? Listen, hold on a second. Alright, listen, give me 2 seconds here. Let me rap until I pull up real quick. Pull up in anime, black, pan, black, anime, black, true, back. Enough, girl, I get. And if no, but no, maybe you could get 9 months, you get maybe. No lazy. Alright, dude. So, yeah, basically what happened here, I'll give you the basic rundown, was that There was a viral video of a kid pouring water in the next kid's face on the floor. The youth that was pouring the water in the youth's face happened to be the little brother of a friend of Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson's gone. That people would do, yeah? Like, this ain't even really the mad bit in it. Yeah? Tommy Robinson's gone and tried to stick up for his mate's little brother. Whether he's wrong, right, or whatever, people do that. I've seen that happen all the time, yeah? People don't care if man's right, wrong, or whatever. It's my brother, innit? Yeah. So I'm backing it, whatever it is. Yeah, so obviously they tried to finesse it and make it out to be that the other youth is a bully and that's why they moved to him. They weren't able to prove that because the evidence that the hearsay evidence that they brought, first of all, when it was cross-examined, wasn't found to be the same as school records, doctors' reports, and even sometimes the statements made by the people on the stand. So even the person on the stand giving evidence at different times contradicted themselves while giving the evidence they're supposed to be giving. Yeah. So there was a court case. Yeah. So there was a court case which was brought against Tommy Robinson. He made a documentary, a little DVD called Silenced, which was about the scenario. Claims that the children had made was repeated in the documentary. Long story short, it went to court. Yeah, long story short, it went to court after that. The evidence, or the claims made in the documentary, namely 3 main claims I concentrated on. There's other claims that was spoken about within the court case, including the child's school report, this, that, and the other. So there's a couple of fanatics. Yeah, should we say, we'll call them. There's a couple of fanatics, yeah. People that parts around there. All right. One sec. Yeah, so there's a couple of fanatics here that are doing all they can, every type of cognitive dissonance trick to just not accept the actual facts in the case, which are there was claims made, there was a libel case brought up, the claims made in the documentary wasn't able to be substantiated in court. And a lot of times the claims made were what the evidence showed the actual opposite of the claims. So the judge found in favor of Jamal. Tommy was told not to release said documentary, not to speak about this incident again. And obviously, you know the rest from there. There was the silenced march in central London. Another 10 violations that was brought up as against the court order. yeah, against the court order. Sorry, there was a court order that was put out that Tommy Robinson was supposed to stick to, which meant that he couldn't mention claims in that documentary again, and anything that was found to go through court and proven not to be true, which means that if he edited out all the claims and all the things that wasn't supposed to be true in the documentary, it'd be like 5 minutes of video. So obviously, man's not going to edit out them parts, right? You know, the stuff of what the school teacher's saying now ends up being a liable claim because they didn't come to court and get cross-examined under oath to explain why they said on secret filming, my man's in detention all the time when he's supervising, but when they received the school records, the school reports, who's in this detention at what time and blah 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 blah, none of that's been able to been found there. So and the maddest thing is it's not me that's making these claims, right? This is what's happened in court. So man can only go with what the people them are saying in court, innit? Yeah. So let's start around here. I need to go and flick out and go and do some work in the sex store. All right.
But there would have been a record of a complaint, even were it true that the claimant could not have been disciplined about the incident because it had taken place outside of school, and ignoring her evidence in the witness box that the incident had happened by the back gate of the school, at the very least, as a serious...
Sorry, I'm going to rewind it a little touch here. And say start there. And it basically, yeah, the whole video, sub to Black Belt Barrister's channel, because I don't want to rinse off the whole video, played it, and then man's copyrighting me and saying I'm using his material and all that sort of stuff there. And it's just a review because there are people in the circles that we're speaking to on these channels here. Yeah, Banksy's probably trolling, isn't it? Yeah, but other people are literally not accepting hard evidence that shows, you know what I'm saying? Like, but all right.
He'd done it. He seized the water bottle and threw it to the ground. The claimant was then grabbed by the other boys who held his arms behind his back and encouraged BWI to fight him whilst he was being restrained. The claimant struggled but could not release his arms. He alleged that BWI had tried to grab his throat. The claimant was released and then another boy pushed him to the ground. As a result of the fall, he fractured his arm. The claimant denied having put BWI in a headlock. When cross-examined by the defendant, Tommy Robinson, the claimant maintained his account. He added that BWI had been swearing and kicking during the incident. Now, BWI also gave evidence about this. His account in his witness statement, the judge said, was short. In the viral video, Jamal, the claimant, could be seen wearing a plaster cast on his arm, and it was widely said that this was a result of bullying. I wish to point out that this was not the case. That happened after a confrontation between myself and Jamal, when he'd be calling my mum names. When he said that about my mum, I went up to him, even though he was 3 years older than me. I was angry what he'd called her and threw a plastic bottle at him. Jamal grabbed me and put me in a headlock.
This is actually, it's like, the adult should remember that this is actually a school kid's argument. Like, can you hear what the man said? He said something about my mum. Yeah. So that's why he wanted to attack him. Like, obviously no one wants to hear their parents get insulted, right? But by the time you leave school age or whatever, someone saying something insulting about your mum doesn't mean that you should go and physically attack them. More times you won't actually go and do that now as an adult or as a parent, or you wouldn't advise your children to do that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, don't worry if they say anything about me, you know? Yeah, because, all right, but there you go.
And was really hurting me. Lots of people saw it. One boy stopped Jamal by pushing him off. He fell awkwardly and hurt his arm on the ground. That was why he was wearing a plaster cast. Not because he was bullied, because he was bullying me. The judge said BWI did not claim that this incident was part of any campaign of bullying by the claimant. In a witness statement to support this, another child, OTP, stated that he witnessed this incident between BWI and this claimant.
And obviously, when he's reading through, yeah, he's only reading through what happened in the case and then giving his opinion on why the judge made the judgment. Yeah, and his opinion is the same as mine, right? That obviously the evidence that was brought forward is in favor of what the Jamal's side of the story is rather than what was on the silence documentary. Like, I don't see. Yeah, man. All right, but God, man, let it play.
He says in his witness statement, on another occasion, Jamal was grabbing a much younger kid from about year 7, and Jamal was in year 11. He put this kid in a headlock, and a friend of mine went over and threw Jamal off him, just as anyone would, breaking up a fight. Except this wasn't a fight, this was a one-sided brawl, he said. This kid was not a match against Jamal. He didn't come up to Jamal's shoulder. My friend pushed him off the boy, and Jamal fell against the curb and hurt his arm. But when cross-examined about this, OTP stated that he was at the top of the field when the incident started, sitting on a bench on the other side of the road, and was quite a way away. He said that his recollection was a bit hazy, and that his attention had been drawn to what was going on when he heard BWI shouting, and that he went over to see what was going on, a point he'd not included in his witness statement. He claimed to have seen the claimant's arms flailing. Asked why that detail was not included in his witness statement, he said he was not sure whether they'd made contact, so that's why it was not included. And so there you can see, first, that BWI did not claim that this incident was part of a campaign of bullying by the claimant here, but secondly, you can see that when cross-examined, OTP said not only that he was quite far away, that his memory was a bit hazy, but also didn't include details in his witness statement because he wasn't really sure whether they'd actually made any contact, and that's why it wasn't included.
Yeah, so obviously he's going to summarize there and say, well, so obviously if you're giving contradictory evidence inside the courtroom when you're being cross-examined and questioned about what's happened, like, and it's something where, I don't know, you're the party that gets injured, in it. Like, you're going to remember what happened, in it. Yeah, unless it's like devastating injury that could have taken your life or whatever, and you've tried to block it out or whatever. But like, say you broke your arm, you got stabbed. I got stabbed in my hand. I've been stabbed in my arm. I've been stabbed in the forehead and all that as well. Yeah, I remember exactly what happened at the times that the shits happened. So, and this is years ago. Yeah, you wouldn't even notice the scar from the fingerbobs. So, you know what I mean? Like, you literally wouldn't even notice the scar. But I know I could tell you what happened step by step of the thing, innit? Do you know what I mean? So, alright, but go on. Let it play.
So you can see on the one hand, one version of events tells you one thing, but when cross-examined and a witness gives you a very either hazy or inconsistent account or just doesn't include those details because they weren't really sure what happened, that is what can lead to a lack of credibility in these allegations. And therefore the judge concluded at paragraph 67, the defendant, Tommy Robertson, contends that this incident shows that the claimant had a propensity to use violence and is a bully. The incident that we're talking about here by itself for a moment. The judge says, in my judgment, it doesn't establish either. BWI did not claim in his evidence that he was bullied by the claimant, and the defendant's not demonstrated that in this incident, the alleged headlock, the claimant was the aggressor. I think it's more likely than not that he was the victim of violence that was used, and that this was another incident of bullying at the hands of boys older than BWI, but BWI was willing, perhaps to curry favour with the other boys, to involve himself in the incident. So the judge essentially didn't accept, on the evidence that was presented, that this actually happened in the way that was put forward in support of the defence of the truth here.
But like you said, the judge doesn't accept the defence that these witnesses gave. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the King Bob wasn't found. Not because, they want to bully Tommy or rah, 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 rah. Like, it literally don't make sense, because, like, come on, man. You gotta be real with it, man. You know? I know was being silly still. But, say less, man. Can't let it play.
Behalf of Tommy Robinson. The next incident I'll deal with relatively briefly, the claimant's alleged verbal abuse of and towards girls and women. Now, in short, AYQ, another child, was giving evidence here, and the bit that I've highlighted here said that she was walking home from school up towards the shop, Jamal was there and just started calling me names. Now, the emphasis here is where she was. Now, again, when cross-examined, that account changed. When cross-examined, she said the incident she described happened at the back gate of the school. And so the judge didn't accept her evidence. The judge said it is not credible, and it's not supported or corroborated by any other evidence. She was inconsistent about the place where the incident happened, whether she'd actually been struck by the claimant, a detail she would not have forgotten. So I very often say if someone is struck with something, they would remember it, they would report it, and there would probably be some documentary evidence about it. The judge said...
Yeah, so, like, the same sort of thing, innit? Well, I wonder, that's why, like, you know, obviously we're not solicitors, barristers, or legal teams or whatever, innit? Like, so it's hard for us to do that, yeah, but like you said, if you do watch something like a documentary, it's a true life thing or whatever, you sort of try to find out the facts before we start running with what one person's saying or the other. You know what I mean? Because all this one to get us under cross-examination, these allegations or these claims are not the same, then how can the judge find in Tommy's way if the evidence that of the people he's bringing on stand is not standing up to scrutiny? Around it, really play.
There are no corroborating documents. Given its seriousness, had her mother reported the incident to the school, as claimed, the judge said, I'm satisfied that there would have been a record of a complaint, even were it true that the claimant could not have been disciplined about the incident because it had taken place outside of school. And ignoring her evidence in the witness box that the incident had happened by the back gate of the school, at the very least, as a serious behavioural issue towards a fellow pupil, the claimant would have been challenged about it and the incident recorded by the school. So the judge effectively said, had this really happened, it would have been recorded, something more would have been made about it, even if it was outside of school. The judge said, in summary, had the incident happened and had it been reported to the school as alleged, there would be records. There are none. So this was essentially the judge saying,
obviously there's no records, right? So you can't find in favour of claims that you're making without the records, without the record proves that. Yeah, so you heard that, yeah? Alright. Black belt barrister, let it play.
That there were no records of it, therefore the judge didn't accept that it had happened, in addition to the fact that the location had changed when pressed under cross-examination. Now, just moving aside for a moment, I'm sure everybody can remember an incident of being hurt, either you've fallen off a bike or you've been hit with something. I remember some very odd things, falling off a bike and hurting my knee, one day being in Australia, hurting my arm here, and I point to exactly where it hurt, and I know exactly how it hurt, where I was, and what happened. And so, and that was over 20 years ago, so if I were challenged on that now, my memory would be just as clear now as it was then. And so many people, when pressed, if they do change their account from what has been reduced to writing in their witness statement, a judge is much less likely to take that as credible evidence. So again, that is not to say that these things absolutely did not happen, just that the judge did not accept that they happened based on the evidence before the judge at this trial, when pressed under cross-examination. And if nothing else, that is a lesson to absolutely get your evidence right the first time it comes to court, and it has to be consistent, because if your evidence changes or it is in any way inconsistent, and the judge is less likely to take it as credible evidence. The judge then dealt with similar non-specific allegations that had been abusive towards women and girls, including the witness statements of Bailey, Charlie, and OTP. The judge says not going to set out this evidence and cannot attach weight to generalized allegations of which cannot be challenged in court because of the lack of detail. The judge said, moreover, I'm satisfied that if the claimant had behaved so repeatedly in the abusive manner alleged, including to members of staff, then this would have been recorded in the claimant's school records. There is no trace of any such behaviour by the claimant in these records. On the contrary, his behavioural record is overwhelmingly positive. Further down, we have a section dealing with whether or not the claimant was sent to isolation as punishment for bad behaviour. It says the defendant, Tommy Robinson, has claimed as part of his case that the claimant's not told the truth about whether he was punished for bad.
Alright, so this is another claim that was made yesterday when I was on Banksy's show. And that's another thing that probably I think Babs keeps saying as well, that the kid was a bad kid and blah blah, this, that and the other, and he was always in detention. So listen carefully to this part here, because they're going to talk about his his school report and who was actually in detention, yeah, with the school records.
Behaviour by being sent to isolation whilst he was at school. His school records do not show, the judge says, that he was ever sent to isolation. The judge says, I've noted that in the claimant's records there are several entries of detention given, pastoral. No attention was paid to these entries during the trial, and I have no evidence or explanation as to what this means. But it is clearly a different response from detention, which appears in the records of other pupils. It also appears that there was a high...
So, if you did watch it at the start of this video, yeah, in the whole video, he says, he makes a claim, yeah, first of all, that Jamal's English was very poor when he first started the school. So it seems like he was having one-on-one English lessons to get his speech up to speed with the rest of the kids. Yeah, so like he said, he was having these single lessons by himself, and they wasn't called detentions. The other kid was getting sent into detentions for misbehaving. The other child that was given the evidence, that I'm not even sure which one it was here still, but watch the whole thing yourself. Don't just take what I'm saying, watch it all yourself. What you should do here really, yeah, is instead of arguing with me and saying, yo, blah blah, this, that and the other, download the court papers, read through it yourself, yeah, see the exact words that the judge made. You can see the exact words that was given, that the cross-examining that Tommy done and all that. You can, all that's in there. You can see it all for yourself, cuz. Then you can make up your own mind like that. I mean, Anyway, go on. Ready, play.
Hierarchy of detentions, escalating to senior leadership detention and ultimately head teacher detention. But then it comes to some evidence as to what Tommy Robinson said he relied on in regard to this isolation detention and so on. It says the defendant relies upon the evidence of the former teacher who on occasions used to supervise isolation and who told the defendant that the claimant was in isolation loads of times. So this former teacher said that this claimant was in isolation loads of times, even though that the judge said that the claimant's school records do not show that he was ever sent to isolation. It goes...
You hear that? Yeah? So, in the video, the teacher claims that he watched my man in isolation loads of time. I think it's like is it an Asian dude? A brown dude anyway, yeah? That makes that claim, a teacher. Yeah, that's how you know I've seen Silenced as well, right? Yeah, I swear the dude that's kind of Asian that's making that claim. Say there's a helicopter. Well, I'm outside that. Helicopter. Yeah, but... So, that dude that was making that claim, when this court has been given these entries, which were going to be classed as hearsay, and Tommy Robinson knew they was going to be classed as hearsay with the comments that I read out on yesterday's show from the court readings that DJ Soul posted, then that was the sorry, that helicopter's put me off, man. But that would have been that's why the teacher needed to be present in court so he could be cross-examined, right? So if it wasn't written down purposely that this Jamal child didn't go to or was going to detentions, but they wasn't writing it down, he would have been able to give the reasons why it wasn't written down, and then he could have brought evidence that showed why or whatever. But he didn't do that, right? So. And then when in the school papers, like his school records is showing that he was never in the detention. He never got escalated to the isolation thing or whatever. Like, so who should they believe? The guy that's getting filmed on secret recording, who's made a claim, or the actual school records that show that it's not how it is. Like, if you think about it like this, yeah, if it was you that was in court and someone was bringing evidence that is contrary to like your doctor's notes, the school reports, a therapist report or whatever, would you expect to be found guilty or not guilty? Obviously you'd be expect to be found guilty, innit? Because you've got official government official evidence that backdates to show what you're saying is true and the other people don't. Do you get me? So it's crazy, you know, but gone. So Jamal never went to detention and never got escalated to isolation via the school records, as far as everyone should be concerned. And if there is evidence to show otherwise, that needs to be brought forward, and it could actually help somebody get out of jail and all that sort of stuff there, isn't it? Like, so let me play.
And the evidence of OTP said in his witness statement claimed that the claimant had been sent to isolation for attacking someone for an unidentified occasion. When he gave evidence at trial, the defendant showed OTP what the former teacher had said and asked whether it was correct and that the claimant had never been in isolation. OT replied that the claimant had been there multiple times with him and the former teacher. In fact, although OTP's school records appear to confirm that OTP had been sanctioned with detention on many occasions, sometimes on a daily basis, there is only one record of OTP being sent to isolation. Further, the judge says the comparison between the records of the claimant and OTP shows that there was not a single occasion when the claimant and OTP attended any form of detention on the same date. Ultimately,
so even that then, one of the kids claimed that they was in detention with my man and he said something, but the school records doesn't show that they was ever in a detention together. Like, so whose opinion are you going to take? Like, a child that might lie, or the official school records, what they shouldn't lie on? They can lie, but they shouldn't be lying on. You know what I'm saying? That's obviously going to be more reliable than the child's way, right? Than the child's word. But that's what I would say anyway.
the judge says, I reject OTP's evidence and I can place no reliance on the hearsay evidence of the former teacher because the circumstances in which his statement was made, and critically because his evidence has not been tested by cross-examination by reference to the school records, which appear to contradict the evidence of OTP and the former teacher. So this again is a situation where you've got the actual records of the school contradicting the evidence which is in some way contradictory by OTP and the hearsay evidence of the former teacher, each of which was rejected by this judge. The judge said, in summary, the defendants failed to demonstrate that the claimants had any propensity to behave in an aggressive or abusive manner towards girls and women. For the reasons I've given, I'm unable to accept the evidence of AYQ and BWI. But even if I had accepted it, it would not have demonstrated propensity on the part of the claimant to act in this way. The more reliable contemporaneous evidence in the school records provides powerful support for the conclusion that the claimant did not behave in the alleged way. So again, whether you agree with all of this or not, this is what the judge found based on the documentary evidence that was put before the court and testing the evidence of those that did come to court and somewhat discounting the hearsay evidence of those that did not come to court because it was not tested in court against the contemporaneous documentary evidence that was indeed at court. After this, in the judgment, there are a number of different incidents as well, each of which had some contradictions. So very briefly, there was a hockey stick incident which...
Right. So that was the main point that we was arguing about yesterday, right? About the school records and not being consistent with the reports given that by Tom Robinson's witnesses in this court case. So you heard it there. Black belt barrister told you from the court papers. You know, download the court papers and read it yourself, innit? Like, stop. Just believe in anything without verifying it. You get me? You know? That was a light work, innit? That was a light work, I lie. Yeah, man. Alright, say less though anyway, man. I need to go do some work still. So, back a bit later, innit? Yeah. Watch the rest of Black Belt Barrister's video. Gonna go through more claims that I could play some more on this year. I don't know what my man's like for striking, innit? Basically, there's more claims made. Like he goes through the hockey stick incident real quick, saying that the doctor's note and everything doesn't match up with the claims made. Goes through the knife incident, I think, there's no records to show that the knife incident is true. And then obviously he gives a summary about what the judge says at the end. You know what I'm saying? Brother, listen, Black Belt Barrister is a Tommy Robinson fan, innit? He loves Tommy. Good, but the evidence is evidence, innit? You can love him a little more. Get it? Anyway, man, let it blow.